Very special indeed. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Give it up one more time for Mike Starr, everybody.
Cue the music. Thank you for being here.
Well, no, thank you. You had such a great line of people that were waiting to meet you, so thank you for taking the time to come say hello to us. Thank you.
We're going to have a lot of laughs today, as my friend from Bermondsey used to say, and we'll tell a lot of lies. So,
a lot of lies.
Anything I can do, let me know.
You're a long way from Queens, New York. How are you enjoying the UK so far, Mr. Starr?
Loving it.
Yay.
Loving it. It's my first time in Manchester, but I've spent a lot of time on and off in a few other places and have worked in London, in Pinewood Studios. So I am, you know the song from Hair, of course, everyone mentions Manchester, England, you know. Well, the guy was from Flushing, Queens, Claude Hooper saying it. So since like 1968, I've been trying to get here. And I have some friends who have relatives here, so I'm here.
Yes.
So I hope we have some stories to tell or any questions or anything I can answer, as long as they're not too personal.
Yes, as long as they're not too personal, that's right. I have a feeling
or illegal.
Someone's gonna come up and ask you what the most annoying sound in the world is.
I'll take it.
He'll take it. Well, guys, as much fun as I have sitting up here asking questions and fangirling, we want to make this interactive for you guys. So we have a microphone, is that right? We have a microphone for you guys.
Great
Please
idea.
don't be shy. Come up and ask a question. This is our friend Josh. Everyone say hi to Josh. Wow,
Where's Josh?
And the crowd went mild right then. Josh is right over here with the microphone stand.
Let's hear it for Josh.
Woo-hoo!
Yay. Let's put him on the spot.
Yes. Don't be shy, guys. Come on up to the microphone stand if you have a question for Mr. Starr.
Dumb
Come on
and
up,
Dumber
sir.
Bodyguard, please, sir.
Our first victim. Give it up for our first victim of the day. Yay!
Yeah, that's courage.
Hello there.
Where you from?
I'm from Northern Ireland, but I live in Manchester.
Where in Northern Ireland?
County Tyrone.
Oh, yes, I know people.
You know it?
In the Bronx, I know people from County Tyrone.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of people everywhere.
In the North Bronx, yeah.
We're all over the world. Nice to meet you, Mike. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm a big fan. You've been in movies as long as I've been watching movies.
He said he's a big fan, and I've been in movies, you know.
You're in
I'll take it.
You're in so many favorite movies of mine, so many memorable roles.
Thank you.
I couldn't decide what to ask you about, but I have now decided. I'm going to ask you about Mad Dog and Glory, which is 30 years old this year.
Hey, you all want to keep it down out there?
Which is a beautiful film, by the way, which everybody should see. But I want to ask you about working with De Niro again and Bill Murray, Uma Thurman, everybody on that movie, yeah.
Kevin Smith is one of his favorite movies. His people in the business love it. The author is Richard Price. You can look up the film, the series he just did with John Turturro a couple of years ago, my friend. The writing was phenomenal. And I don't know how many of you know Mad Dog and Glory. I did it a year after Goodfellas. And Uma was just the greatest, took care of me. And Robert De Niro and Bob, all we did was laugh a lot. People would think De Niro's always walking around like this or that. And we had more laughs, and eating in Chicago was my first. Uncle Buck, I was in Chicago briefly, but it was my first time spending full time in Chicago. And we wound up living there when my wife worked at the University of Chicago Hospital in the pediatric unit. And he was so great. And then Murray, Bill, I have to tell you, and I worked with him on Ed Wood later on, and I know the Murray family, we do a first responders benefit, his brother Joel, and I've worked with Brian Doyle Murray. They're like 11 kids. And he was really out there. I mean, great and fun, and his kids, and I brought, one time my son came to visit, I took him. I had my kids come. My wife was a resident then, so they came out. My wife was a first-year resident in surgery, and I can't tell you the great times I had with all people in Chicago, but De Niro would, you know, it's funny, when you do something with Robert De Niro, you know, after a scene, because we had a comfortable thing, I'd ask him, he'd go, like that, you know? It's like there's a lot of people who'll try to screw you or like get attention. No, it's a cliche, but he's the giving guy who wants to make it work, so he go, and I had some really nice talks with him. He was tremendous, and Murray would break my balls. Both of them super kind to people. We were right by a children's hospital there where my wife wound up working, and I have to say, I can't say enough nice things. Bill is one of the most unique, funny. He turned me on to all this interesting Irish music and everything.
Yeah.
With Van Morrison and the Chieftains, and I would give it to my wife playing in the operating room. So, and actually sang one song later on, playing an Irish mobster years later. I did.
Yeah.
So they were great.
Yeah.
Does that answer it?
It does indeed. Thank you very much. And one quick question.
In Goodfellas, De Niro set me up. Martin Scorsese asked me to improvise.
Oh, right.
So it was all based on fact and the period, you know.
I love the Harold character. I just got to say one more thing.
I love Harold.
Shivers in milk. Is that your
No,
idea?
Richard Price wrote that. But my character used to drink Shivers and milk. He was a very sweet, tough guy, right? And the one thing they cut out I never understood is I said, milk has got tryptophan in it. Helps you sleep. Scotch has got scotch in it. This is a very nice drink if you've had a hard day and a tough day. And I don't know why it went out, but everything was great. And David Caruso, giving me shit. And so many, Kathy oh man.
Baker, yeah.
Yeah, and
great cast.
So many cool people. And I just love it. It's a sweet film. And
that movie's brilliant. Everybody should see it.
Yeah, very different characters De Niro played.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Thank you.
Thanks,
a lot
Mike.
of people.
I'll let somebody else have a go.
You know the lead on Blacklist? He told me it was one of his favorite movies.
Oh yeah. One of mine too.
Great
Thank you all.
We're going to see him at the after party for some Shivers and milk. What do you say?
What's that?
At the after party, we'll do some
Shivers and milk, yeah.
Just that,
I knew a guy that used to drink something similar like that.
Yes. If you have another question, guys, coming up to the microphone.
Anyone else? Dumb and Dumber, The
Quick
Bodyguard.
question from
The
me,
Bodyguard in Manchester. I heard you had a bit of a row at the live show. Come on, there's got to be bodyguard questions.
Come on.
My friend Whitney. Anyone, come on.
We've got to
Don't
take
be
her
shy.
here.
I'm easy.
Hi, Mike.
Sorry to keep you all waiting.
Hi. I've been sent up by my daughter.
Hey, you want to keep it down back there?
Yeah.
Just.
So my question is, you've worked with most of the great directors. Is there any one director that you've not worked with that you've always wanted to?
Oh shit! I'm usually prepared for this stuff. You know, Steven Soderbergh, I think it was him. He told me at an interview. He said, "Oh, you're great. You're all these wonderful things." And this was about 20 years ago, I'd say. He says, "But you're so recognizable," and I don't want to make this narcissistic or act the way it says. You'd be too strong. It'd be too much or something. He said, "I can't put you." I'm trying to think. There are a few people. I'm trying to think right now, because there's some young directors I've met and I didn't work with. Guy did have birth. I'm sorry, I'm not better prepared for this because there's a few.
All right, yeah.
Can you throw some names at me?
No, well, what about people from the past? People who don't direct anymore?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was lucky. I worked with George Roy Hill, who did that. And of course, Martin Scorsese, Brian De Palma. James Cameron eventually. That would be interesting. That's a great one, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's so many. I'm trying to think, and there's people that we may not know. My brother, who played the dad in Goodfellas, right? He was a pro football player in the States, and he pushed me into acting. Then I got him into it, but he got me a scholarship at university. But we've worked with so many. Bill Dukes. Trying to think different people that you guys would know, but he got me into French and Italian films, right? And I was very much now into Korean cinema and the really solid shows. I don't mean all the crazy, not that I knock it. And it would have been great to work with Kurosawa. I worked in Japan, you know, so it took me about 5 years to pronounce his name. I'm saying I'm going, oh, Kurosawa, yes, yeah. There's people that names would ring them. I'm thinking I'll probably yell it out. You're going to be here 2 days, you come by? But does anyone have any questions about Jim Carrey or Kevin Costner or anything? Thank you very much for that.
Yes,
that's a
thank
great
you.
question. You know, I'm an old guy. I got to remember these names.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
Well, my quick question is, I saw the recent Whitney Houston film, and
is this a fake British accent he's doing?
If only I could be that fake. No, this is the real deal, my partner. Well, as someone who has obviously worked with Whitney Houston on The Bodyguard, as you mentioned,
yes.
Have you seen that biopic they did of Whitney Houston?
Yes, I thought it was well done, actually.
Well, so would you say her performance was accurate? Or was, as someone who's actually met her, what was she like? And was there anything that, if you would critique it, what would you say about the performance?
I found, because I was concerned, and trying to think of his name, the Daily Mail interviewed me a few years ago, and then before the film. And he asked me the same thing. I said, is it going to be positive enough? And my friend Stanley Tucci plays Clive Davis, and he's great. You know, we all have our stories, you know, and what I was glad about, they captured her youth. She used to call me homeboy, and she said that, you know, we, like with Scorsese and De Niro people, I seem to be like the fool in King Lear. I like to laugh a lot and fool around, and people trust you that way. And said, not let them doing one-liners, it's just, I tend to tell long stories. So Whitney, I used to go to lunch with her. So I didn't know her afterwards. She said, Mike Starr, stick around. I'm going to sing the song from the movie. Any of you all know Gary Kemp, the Kemp brothers from Spandau Ballet?
Oh,
yeah.
I do know.
And Bill Cobbs, who played a manager on it. And we just had fun. And I got to watch her perform that in the Fontainebleau in Miami. We were doing it. And sing I Will Always Love. She was nothing but kind. And Kirk Whalen, the saxophone player, and her assistant Robin. And I think, yeah, it's hard. It was hard for me to watch. What I liked about the Whitney bio is that it didn't just go like this. They kept flashing back when she'd have small victories and big victories. And then it is a tragic story, and you see, hey, there's a lot of paths people can go, but she's one of the finest, actually in person, most beautiful, but I've never heard anyone sing like her.
It's just like it was quite a shock for all of us because she was such a talent and she had to go to waste. And it's the old saying goes, only the good die young, and Whitney Houston is sadly on that long list with John Lennon and all the many other people in celebrity, and it's a real shame it happened the way it did. But again, I think it's a credit that what she did, and I think it was a decent film. But it's always interesting because always, let's face it, there's always going to be someone who says history versus Hollywood. There's inaccuracies, and at least
it's
you
hard.
feel
She did a great
justice.
job, I thought. The woman who portrayed her.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think from what I could see, it was fair. I mean, I don't know all the stories.
Well,
there was new stuff to me.
We'll have us.
Actually, my daughters had a fill-in later on about reality show. Tell me. And she was so good to my youngest daughter. Came out, and I mean, my kids came out, and she put her in a private makeup room and did it. She was like 9 at the time, 8 or 9. So now I'm going to walk through the crowd. And embarrass people to get up and talk to me. Thank you. That's a great question.
Great questions
all
so
good
far.
questions.
I think
anyone want to come up? Bodyguard, Dumb and Dumber, Goodfellas.
I think we have time for one final question, and if I can indulge myself, we got to ask about Dumb and Dumber, Mr. Starr. That's my personal favorite. Oh, and we have the caveman coming to the microphone.
All right.
Wow.
Hey, gas man.
How'd they know?
Love it. It's not a Dumb and Dumber question, but of all the auditions you've been to, what was the role that you wish you would have gotten?
Oh, God. I never like really to say, oh, I wish this, because then it could besmirch the performances. I'm trying to think. I have a tendency sometimes to talk too much, and there were things I went in, I remember with Joel Schumacher, God rest his soul, and he loved The Bodyguard, and I said, oh, you got to see Mad Dog and Glory. He said, well, what'd you play in that? I said, Bodyguard. He goes, oh, Mike, you don't mean to do another Bodyguard movie. It was the client, and I started like begging my way. I can play one of the police, or I can do accents. And there was a film I wanted to do, and God rest his soul, Tom Sizemore did, because I thought in the script and the thing, I thought he was, I think, Sicilian and Irish. I'm trying to be a Sicilian guy. In the movie Heat, because I've worked with Pacino and De Niro, and I wanted to do it, but it's not to say like, oh, I would have done better. I don't mean that at all. I think that would be an honest answer when I look back. I mean, you kind of see things as being like, wait, you deal with life and death all the time and this and that, and you go, okay, I didn't get that film. But I think that would be the most honest answer I could say. I'm thinking of a few, maybe some Coen brother films that I didn't do or whatever, but you just go, hey, what do you want, everything? I'm lucky and blessed, so. And it's usually my own fault.
Thanks, man.
Sometimes talking a lot is great, sometimes it isn't.
Can you sing the Mockingbird song?
All right, everybody, Dumb and Dumber fans. 1, 2, 3. Mock. Ing. Bird. Mockingbird. Guys. Can we just play the radio? Did you have a question? Is it about Ed Wood? What is it? No questions? Okay.
He's just hanging out.
I thought
Let's take one last
they wouldn't be
question
so
from
shy.
this. Come on over. We have time for one
Are you
final
having fun
question.
so far, I hope?
Hi. What was it like working with Jim?
All right, next question. No, I'm sorry, what?
What was it like working with Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber?
An adventure every day.
Yeah?
So much fun. I was telling someone before when him and Jeff lean in and go, pills are good. I'm supposed to be dying. I wanted to laugh so hard. On one take, Jim Carrey whispers in my ear, Mike, pump your legs, because he started doing this with me. He goes, pump your legs twice. The third time, I want you to really shove me, kick me. So I shoved him. He goes flying into the wall and comes back in with the Venetian blinds. I almost completely lost it. And I never knew the first take that the world's most annoying sound was coming. And
Thank you.
I have people want to do that to me, and my kids and their friends, and a lot of people know how nuts I can be with certain things. They enjoyed. I hate all of that stuff, poking. So it wasn't hard to act.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
What was your
you.
name?
Mia.
Mia, thank you. Oh, the Mia in my life. That's great.
Thank you so much.
We have anyone else that wants to ask something or come and ask? Come say hello at the table if you can.
Yes.
I'll tell some more stories. We have nice photos.
We would love that. We've
Uncle
got Dante coming up. Let's do one final question here, and then we'll let you get back to your table and all your adoring fans. Look,
The
Cobra
original
Kai.
film, I know him. I've worked with him. You know the lead in the film, right?
Oh, yeah,
And now
yeah.
he's on the show. I gave him a Guinness. Someone gave me a great Guinness. A friend of mine, Paul O'Reilly, used to sell for them, and he gave me a great Guinness shirt, and he loved it, so I just said, "Oh, here, take it."
Excellent.
I mean, I had a backup.
Excellent. Can I ask you a question about
Anything.
about The Office? You were in The Office.
The American Office.
Yeah. Can you tell me something about
First,
that?
I should tell you the way I saw the British Office. I was doing Black Dahlia, Brian De Palma's directing in Bulgaria, right? So this is 05, and I brought over Seinfeld tapes, and we had an international crew. The French crew and the Czechoslovakians are setting up a video for me, and the assistant editor had the British Office, and I had Seinfeld tapes. So we traded for a while. So that's how I got in. You know,
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is one of my extras, is one of my favorite shows ever. So now you have a question. I played you don't know if he's an insurance man or a mob guy. It comes on the side. If it doesn't come on the side, I send it back. So, yeah, so what question do you have?
Just have you got any like behind the what's Steve Carell like to work
Oh,
with?
well, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's funny because, you know, The Sopranos made certain dialects, which you have here from Italians, that made it, the director asked me to tell 3 or 4 of the leads, could you explain what gabagool is? And of course it comes from capicola, and from the south of Italy to come to the northeast, and even in Chicago, where urban areas, people would change like calamari to galama. And I guess Sopranos, and I said, are you serious? You pranking me? What do you want? I mean, I'm half Polish, but if you want, I'll explain. And I did. In one take, Steve Carell goes, I'll have a cup of gabagool, you know, and I almost lost it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were great to work with. And Steve kept explaining, you know, we do a thing, we look at the camera, we do this, and sometimes we talk. And it was really great experience to be with them, and he did that. I'll send it on the site. He's super.
Excellent.
Thank you for asking.
Great question. Great questions here in Manchester. Well, Mr. Starr, you have been such a delight, and we can hear you tell
Hey,
stories
Hope.
all day.
Was I a delight?
Such a delight.
Make
And
sure you
there's-
come by and say hello when you can.
Yes.